guys, before we jump into this video, I just wanted to give you a little quick update on where we are. This is the changing table that we got and we set it up in our home. This is the storage room of all the stuff that we're in the process of purging of, which is why you might only see me sit in one area in our house right now. We are slowly transitioning our office out of what will be the nursery, and now we're putting it downstairs, and it's just a big old work in progress. So that's what we've been doing throughout the week. Last but not least, we got a car. That is right, my friends. We were so excited about this. We got a new vehicle, well, new to us vehicle, and we couldn't be happier with it. Honestly, we got a great deal. The dealer, of course, said it was owned by a little old lady, which can we confirm nor deny? No, but you know what? We'll take it. Whoever it was, they took awesome care of it. We're super grateful for it. And this is so much safer and more reliable and more family-oriented, I think, for bringing a baby into the world. So yeah, there's that. All right, let's dive in. This is my model for the day. We also got one of Zelda and me, but Elliot just sat there looking like a model, so I took a picture of him and I was like, all right, we'll edit it. So this is Elliot. You can see I unedited the photo. I had gone through and edited them this morning for my social media, and then I was like, I could actually just record me editing these with y'all. That way you can kind of see my process. So this is Elliot. You can see his face is a little dark. His eyes are a little dark. And everything around him is really bright because of that backlight. So we are going to lift those shadows. Boom, you can see him. He's there. He's beautiful. I only mess with the clarity and the textures when it's an animal. But I usually do that towards the end. So I'll go through, I'll adjust the highlights, kind of play with the exposure, play around with the contrast. Sometimes I do that with animals, sometimes I don't, just depending on what color their coat is. I definitely like to play with the vibrance of their fur. If they have color in it, you want to bring out that color. I will play with the dehaze. With Elliot, his fur is very shaggy, so I do usually add clarity and texture to him because I like to get that shagginess to come out in the photo. But also it's really hard to see his eyes otherwise because he's got the kind of like raccoon thing going on. He's cute though. And then I usually adjust the color. I go down here. There's a little bit of yellow in his fur because he needs a bath really bad. So I'm going to lighten those and then I'm going to desaturate them a little bit so he looks a little cleaner. He still needs a bath. But then I straighten the photo and you kind of get a finished product. He's pretty easy to edit. It's my dog, so I kind of know him really well, but you might have to play around a little bit more depending on the animal. Zelda, this is my other pupper that you always see in my videos. She's harder to edit for me, mostly because her fur is just this beautiful tan color, and I always want to make sure that I do it justice just right. This is actually great practice if you have pets. It's great practice to mess around with the coloring so that way you can always get that true to tone color. So whenever you're editing people's skin tones, you want to make sure that they're as good as possible and as accurate as possible. So this is me going through. I was kind of playing around with the exposure a little bit. Definitely upping the shadows was the first thing because she's backlit. Her little nose. Oh, that's so cute. Look at her little nose. Yep. And now I'm going to adjust the color a little. That looks a lot better. You see that nice vibrant tan. So I'm just adjusting the highlights. I want to make sure that, that lighting looks really nice. I definitely play around a lot more when it's animals versus people. It's just fun to see how you can make their fur pop. This is me just playing around with the clarity. You definitely, with Zelda, you don't really need much. I'll add a little bit just to help shape those eyes and make the fur stand out more. But once again, this is something I only do on dogs or cats. I don't ever add that much texture or clarity to a person. Now we do noise reduction. I always add a little bit There you go. Yeah, and that's the photo. So she's nice and well lit, and she's adorable, and she's staring right at me because I would stole her toy from her. Okay, the last photo that we're going to do. I just love this photo. If you want tips on how to do your own little in-home photo shoot for whether it's maternity or bump dates or, you know, those little in-between things where you don't want to get a whole shoot done, but you want to memorialize those moments, go ahead and DM me if that's something you're interested in, or comment below, and I will definitely post a video on how I did this shoot. I absolutely love this photo. I'm smiling, I'm looking down. I was able to post it and be like, hey guys, look, I have a bump. 24 weeks pregnant. So this is me adjusting everything here. I'm playing with the highlights because it is backlit, which I love backlit photos, especially in front of a sheer curtain. It's one of my favorite things. I did want to get the couch in some of the photos, which is why we're at where we are. Otherwise, you would have gotten me standing up here. But I didn't mind it where it was. I actually really love this photo. So here we go. You can see I upped the contrast a little bit. I dyed my hair, so I want to get that fiery red to come out. And I'm actually editing this differently than what you'll see posted on my personal social media. Because on my personal social media, I definitely like a vibrant vibe. On here, I'm going to do that matte look. A lot of people really love it. I love it in a lot of photos. Not typically when it's for myself, though, but there's a lot of times I'll do it for other people. So we're kind of creating that matte look right now. Guys, that curve is a gift, okay? So after you do your light adjustments, you kind of see what you got going on. Go and play with the curve. You can get that matte look, that intense look, and then you can kind of play around with the rest of it and see what you got going on. So there's that. I'm going to put some noise reduction. And voila, that is the finished product. These were just a couple of home photos. I always do remove the chromatic aberration and profile corrections. You don't always have to do that. Sometimes it actually adds like an artsy flair to the photo if you don't. But, you know. So anyways, I did decide towards the end I wanted to up the exposure a little bit just to give that glow a little bit more vibrancy. I could have also upped the highlights, but that would have only done the backlighting. It would not have brightened me up, and I wanted the whole photo to be brighter. Exactly what it is. And this is me reminding you to always save your image. That's my little bump date folder. I'm going to save my image too. But this is my matte version of the photo you will see on my social media. But thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for coming and seeing how I edit photos. I'll see you next time.
Stacked. You can whisper behind my back. You can show me how the odds are up against me all day